This podcast serves Middle Tennessee every weekday morning, and it's made possible by member support. Learn how you can make a difference at WPLN.org/support.
This is the Nashvillager Podcast. It's January 7th, 2025. 25 years ago today, the Grand Ole Opry returned to the Ryman Auditorium for a month-long residency, the first time the show had an extended run in its old home since leaving downtown for the purpose-built Opry House in 1974. I'm Nina Cardona, and this is your daily digest of what's happening around Middle Tennessee with historical context from Nashville Public Radio, WPLN News. The Ryman was left for dead my entire childhood. It's kind of hard to imagine that now. But instead of being a beloved venue with a robust concert schedule, it was boarded up. And it may not have survived, except for the fact that a lot of downtown Nashville was ignored by the city as a whole for decades. There were several attempts through the years to get people interested in coming downtown again, but most landed with a thud. For example, in the 80s, the Church Street Mall was supposed to make people want to shop in the city center. It had a tall, airy atrium at the center that felt impressively modern, but every time I ever went, it seemed near empty. That's gone now. The downtown library was built on the same lot. The old convention center's design was a real reflection of how Nashvillians used to think about downtown. Its backside was on Broadway. Pretty much the only windows were on Commerce Street, next to one of the few thriving downtown hotels. And the convention space itself was an underground bunker, as if to signal to folks that they didn't have to worry about whatever might be happening on the streets outside. They'd be safely kept away from it all. There are a lot of reasons why downtown died in the second half of the 20th century. White flight and racism definitely played a role. But the way the interstates were built to trap the downtown core inside a tight loop that limited other inroads didn't help. Neither did the urban renewal reworking of roadways that eliminated part of the street grid near the State House, replacing it with a curving James Robertson Parkway. Downtown looked more mid-century modern with those roads, but it wasn't all that accessible. Pair those changes with the trend towards suburban life, and of course we got the recipe for abandoning downtown. There are a lot of lessons to be learned from that era as we build a new extension to downtown on the east side of the Cumberland. Some of their so-called advances will need to be avoided or reworked, and that's already underway. The state is currently accepting bids to lower James Robertson Parkway down to ground level on that side of the river. Right now it's on a long bridge. The idea is that it shouldn't tower over the new development. It should integrate into the new street grid that will be built there. Another big piece of that puzzle is the proposed East Bank Boulevard, to be built at some point as that neighborhood is reimagined and rebuilt. The boulevard is expected to be to that area what Gallatin Pike is to East Nashville, what West End is to Midtown. It'll be a main street, the defining corridor, the central hub of activity. Those kinds of streets are tricky to alter or adjust once they're in place and lined with businesses and apartment buildings. We've got to get it right from the start. Now, at this point, there have been months of discussions about how many lanes of traffic there will be, how it'll be set up to handle buses, protections for bike riders and pedestrians. City planners have suggested designs. Advocates like Walk Bike Nashville have pushed back against those designs. As of a meeting last month, it seems that there's still a lot to be done before a plan for the street is finalized. We still don't know the timeline for the design, but indications suggest that leaders are willing to give it some time. The actual construction of East Bank Boulevard, or whatever it ends up being named, may not be finished for another 10 or 11 years. Hopefully, taking that time means the powers that be are taking a lot of our city's past lessons into account and thinking deeply about what it takes to make sure locals feel at home and are able to comfortably move around this new street. If we're going to build a new annex to downtown, we don't want it to be the kind of place future Nashvillians are willing to abandon. In just a few minutes, this week's edition of What Wear Wednesday. That's coming up after the newscast.
Thematic Static on WNXP is the mixtape we make together. A themed set loosely organized by you, the listener, handpicking songs according to a theme. Airing first Thursdays at 9 a.m. and again Saturdays at 9 a.m., Thematic Static plucks your requests from the socials at WNXP Nashville and by voice memo at 615-320-9100. Thematic Static, the mixtape we make together, supported by United Record Pressing, only on WNXP.
Here's the latest from WPLN News. A group of state lawmakers is considering equipping prison guards with body cameras. The Tennessee Senate's Corrections Subcommittee met yesterday to discuss matters at the Trousdale-Turner Correctional Center. The prison is under federal investigation over allegations of abuse of prisoners, sexual assaults, and murder. Last October, 3 guards were taken hostage during a prison riot. The district attorney representing Trousdale County says that when inmates learn that body cams are being used, the number of violent incidents will drop dramatically. Members of the subcommittee seem to support the idea. But corrections officials say footage from the prison could present different practical and legal challenges, such as regularly recording medical care and visual searches. CoreCivic, which runs the prison, says it would pay $350,000 for the body cams, but the state would have to bear much of the expense to keep the program going. The Corrections Department estimates that it could require $2 to $3 million a year if the idea moves forward. The new legislative session begins next week. Nashville's homicide rate in 2025 was the lowest in a decade. Metro Police reported some 59 homicides as of late December. Fox 17 reports that's way down after 5 years with more than 100. Police also say non-fatal gunshot injuries, that is, shootings where someone was hurt but survived, were down by more than a third. Officials attribute the drop to a strategy focusing on repeat offenders. Violent crime has shown signs of trending down nationally, but 2025 FBI statistics aren't yet final. The new year is bringing new changes to Tennessee schools. Students will soon start learning tips on how to use social media and the internet safely. WPLN's Camelia Burris has more.
The Teen Social Media and Internet Safety Act applies to kids in public schools grades 6 through 12. The lessons will cover topics like the impact of social media on mental health and how to spot misinformation when using artificial intelligence. The legislation had bipartisan support. One of its sponsors, Senator Bill Powers, says kids must be internet savvy.
Schools must teach students how to stay safe online, manage their time, protect their privacy, and spot dangerous behavior.
But the lessons will also highlight some positive uses of social media, like career building and connecting with family.
This is a common sense step to protect students and equip them with the tools they need to navigate the digital world safely.
Schools will begin these lessons in the 2026 to 27 school year, based on guidance from the State Education Department. The guidance affords schools flexibility in how they deliver these lessons. The first part of the law banned the use of social media in schools last year. The second part, which includes lesson plans, goes into effect this year. The legislation was overwhelmingly popular, but some lawmakers, like State Representative Gloria Johnson, questioned how teachers would find the time to incorporate these lessons in their already packed schedules.
But my concern is that is a lot that we are adding to the curriculum, but we're not adding any time to teach this. I don't know. Teachers right now cannot get in everything they need to do. It's not possible.
But Senator Powers says these lessons will take place during school health courses. They won't require any additional resources like textbooks, so there will be little fiscal impact. This law comes after Tennessee schools banned the use of cell phones, with lawmakers also citing concerns about youth mental health. Camelia Burris, WPLN News.
The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation has found that nearly 420 sober drivers were arrested in 2024 for driving under the influence. Most of these arrests were by state troopers. The TBI is required to gather and share the number of drivers arrested for DUI despite results showing no alcohol or drugs. That new law came about after an investigation by WSMV showed that state troopers were pressured by their leaders to make as many DUI arrests as possible. Middle Tennessee had the highest number of sober arrests. Late last year, researchers uncovered a cemetery at the Hermitage for people enslaved by the 7th U.S. President, Andrew Jackson. Since then, a report on the cemetery has been released. WPLN's Cynthia Abrams explains what it reveals.
Between the years of 1788 and the end of the Civil War, Andrew Jackson and his family enslaved 325 people. An estimated 28 are buried at the Enslaved Persons Cemetery. That remains an estimate because in order to verify the number, the report says the cemetery would have to be disturbed. Trees would be removed and soil ripped back. The investigation does confirm that the cemetery's location is in line with historical references to the site, like in an agricultural survey and a book on the Hermitage, both from the 1930s. The Hermitage is looking to preserve the cemetery. They've built a fence around it and are connecting with descendants. They also say they're building a daily tour focused on the lives of the enslaved. It has yet to be launched due to staffing challenges. Cynthia Abrams, WPLN News.
Trash and recycling pickup may soon become cleaner and safer. A specialty vehicle manufacturer designed a fully electric refuse truck, and it's produced in Middle Tennessee. WPLN's Caroline Eggers reports.
Trash and recycling pickup has traditionally been a hazardous occupation. The industry ranks fourth in the nation for most fatalities annually, per the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. But the new truck, produced by McNeilus Truck and Manufacturing, could change that. President Lee Dree says the new vehicle removes a lot of common dangers.
We purpose-built the vehicle to have a lot of the standard safety features on it that really your mid and upper range cars have today. So collision avoidance, ADAS, automatic braking, 360 camera systems.
It was also designed for tricky maneuvers, like navigating cul-de-sacs and narrow alleys. For the innovation, McNeilus received the Coolest Thing Made in Tennessee award last year, a competition run by the Tennessee Manufacturers Association. The company will build the truck at its plant in Murfreesboro. It's now the only fully electric refuse truck on the American market. Caroline Eggers, WPLN News.
You'll find more news anytime at WPLN.org. If taking up a new creative pursuit is one of your resolutions for the new year, Marquise may have the place for you.
Oh, for steel trail, have I learned my lesson since then?
I'm Marquise Munson, here with another edition of Nashville Public Radio's What Where Wednesday, keeping you up to date with the happenings in Nashville this week. From Steven Sanchez at the Basement East and live jazz at Vinyl Tap on Thursday night, to former WNXP Nashville Artist of the Month, Monrovia, in-store performance and signing of his new record Bloodline at Grimey's on Friday. For more events, head over to WNXP.org/events. This week for What Where Wednesday, we feature Buchanan Art Center. Located in the heart of North Nashville, the nonprofit organization's mission is to use art to build community through pottery classes, public workshops, youth programs, and a community garden.
My name is Virginia Griswold. I'm the executive director of the Buchanan Art Center, which was established in 2021 by two co-founders, Alex Lockwood and John Donovan. When we opened, we found like a lot of folks are just kind of looking for outlets, spaces to work, spaces to grow. A lot of the artistic processes that we teach are like kind of facility intensive. For example, pottery is something that's hard to do without access to a potter's wheel or a kiln. So we provide kind of a place where that kind of activity can happen. We're very much about like the process and experimentation over product. So if you think about like, what does it mean to create something from nothing, to experiment and try something, fail, you know, like that's something that is really important, I think, and has a lot of ramifications beyond the creative act, you know, in life, you know, having experiences where you can try something new. And pottery is also very therapeutic, you know, so that's another thing that we feel like we give to the neighborhood and to the community of people who take classes with us is like this opportunity to decompress at the end of the workday, come make something, meet people, learn.
Look now at the potter whose wheel is spinning round, shaping with her hands the past from the ground.
So most of our pottery classes are introductory level pottery classes with the opportunity for more kind of individualized instruction as someone moves through the curriculum. So a lot of our pottery classes or ceramics classes are kind of geared for multi-level students, with the exception of, this next session, our spring 2026 session, we have on Tuesday nights specialized class taught by an artist. His name's Harry Kagan, and he's teaching kind of a specialized glazing class it's called Maiolica, specialized glazing technique. But for the most part, almost all of our classes are geared for the beginner. And then if somebody wants to continue working, the instructor will meet them sort of where they are. We have Emerging Artist Fellowship Program, so that's for somebody that would be interested in coming and working with us for 1 year. And through that program, you get access to the space, materials, and opportunities for professional development that happen throughout that year. There's also long-form workshops, 8-week. There's short-form workshops, which are weekend workshops, just coming in for a day. We have open houses periodically where people can just come in and try something out. We try to give a lot of different access points for the community. I came into this profession from 10 years spent in academia as a sculpture professor, where I realized that not everyone has the opportunity to devote and commit 4 years of money and resources toward an arts degree in order to learn the skill sets it takes to communicate through the visual arts. So we, as a community education space, have this amazing opportunity to give these communication skills, these vital kind of emotional opportunities to express oneself to everyone, regardless of their ability to pay for that experience. Nonprofit work is not for the faint of heart. I think we are constantly working toward achieving our goals in terms of growth and funding. We would not survive if it wasn't for the great work of the volunteers and people from the community who come in to help make this place work every day. So that is just the reality of the landscape of working in nonprofits right now. You have to really believe in it. And I do. I believe in this. I know my life has been changed through art and art making. I don't know if I would have gotten through different points in my life if it wasn't for that outlet, that ability to create something with my hands and with my eyes and communicate that way.
For more information on Buchanan Arts Center and other events happening this week, visit WNXP.org. My name is Marquise Munson, and thank you for listening to another edition of What Where Wednesday.
Georgia, write me up and all.
Thanks for listening to the Nash Villager podcast. We take this look at Nashville news every weekday. If you like it, go ahead and subscribe on your favorite podcasting app and tell a friend or give us a mention on your socials. It really helps get the word out. And of course, everything at WPLN News is listener supported. You can become a member at WPLN.org. And that's it for today. Thanks so much for listening. Let's make this day a good one, and we'll catch back up tomorrow.